Guys, what are we going to talk about today? Well, not what I had intended, but we're going to revisit the Ferrum Forge Ntac. So, you guys know what time it is. Time to listen to a little bit of music. So guys, I had actually filmed an entire other video that was supposed to go up today, and there was an issue where something got corrupted. I called and I figured it out. I had to reboot my phone. There was something in the settings. I had to change all the settings, but the files would not go. I tried to upload and edit, and nothing worked right. So I scrubbed the video, and I'm so upset about it. I just decided I would film something else, and I will revisit that video that was supposed to go up today at a later date. But first, you guys should go check out Cole over at Tri-State EDC. His channel's a lot of fun. He's gonna be one of those channels that, just like Jared, catches me and then destroys me on subscriber count because his content is so good. He's one of the main reasons that I have the green screen and have upped the production quality. So at any rate, this is a Ferrum Forge Ntac. This is the first Ferrum Forge knife I ever owned. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take it over to the counter. We're gonna look at it from above. We're gonna look at the specs, and I'm gonna tell you why I love this knife so much, even though it does have some issues as far as like blade stock thickness, behind the edge thickness, things like that. So let's go ahead, turn this around, and take a look at it from above. Guys, this is the Ferrum Forge Ntac. This is the first, like I said, first Ferrum Forge knife I ever bought. I love this knife a lot. It's gotten enough use that I've worn the finish in places. You can see lines on it where it's just been cut through stuff, and it's just a great all-around knife. So let's get the specs out of the way. What are you looking at? You're looking at an overall length of 6.62 inches. So that is a 3-inch drop point Bowler N690 flat ground blade with a blade stock thickness of 0.17. All of Elliott's knives were 0.173. They were all done about 175-ish. Let's go ahead and look. It is flat ground. Now, I will tell you, this knife is relatively thick behind the edge. Let's go ahead and get it behind the edge thickness, since I've never done it behind the edge on my Ntac. So directly behind the edge, you are looking at 0.0285. So it's relatively thick behind the edge, but it's not horrible. I've definitely had other knives that are much less likely to cut. This actually, for as thick as it is, it still cuts really well. So handle length is 3.62 inches. Titanium frame lock. It runs on bearings. Now, they're not ceramic bearings, but they are very small steel bearings that, what is that noise? The bearings on these are steel, and I have had zero issues with it. It does have the rolling detent in the built into the lock bar insert. So you get a really, really smooth action. What it allows is to have a much larger detent ball that drops in further but still able to break free. Gives you a really good action. So let's go ahead and get the last of the specs out of the way. So they have this listed as 3.73 ounces. I went back and I found my original purchase of this on Blade HQ to get the specs. 3.73 ounces. Let's go ahead and do grams first for those of you that don't use Freedom units. It's 104 grams. In ounces, that is 3 5/8 ounces. That's really close. You know what I mean? But like I said, even though Nick Shabazz has certified this scale, your results may vary. Let's go ahead and get this scale out. So, like I said, let's just take a quick look at it. You can see this knife gets carried a lot. Snail trails all over it. This I have done in the color I like. This, like I said, the very first Ferrum Forge knife I ever bought. I have actually done some modification to it myself. I did the oversight. Yeah, remember the video? No, you guys haven't seen it yet. There's a video coming up tomorrow where I talk about maintenance ability on knives. I actually replaced the stop pin on this. You can see how shiny that is. I had to take a little bit of material out to adjust the close position so that the detent ball fell in where it was supposed to. So, like I said, titanium flipper, full titanium, comfortable in hand. It's just got just enough thickness that even though it's a smaller knife, it carries really well. This does cut really well, even though it's a thicker blade. I like this knife enough that I purchased a second one. So hang on a second, I'll show you. I like this knife enough that I purchased one for my father as a retirement gift. And when he passed away, my mother brought it out here for my daughter. So this is technically my daughter's Ntac. You can see some differences. So mine, I mean, they are the same knife for all intents and purposes. Mine has just been refinished a different color. Mine has had, you can see I opened up the choil ever so slightly on it, and I had some jimping put on the flipper tab. But yeah, great knife. I love this knife so much. I figured my father would love it. He carried it a lot, loved his as well. So just a great all-around knife. Let me get this out of the way. As far as reliability and things like this, this is one of those overbuilt knives. Chris and Elliot, basically everything they made in-house for a while was big, bulky, beefy, over the top. And this was no exception. For such a small knife, it is so well built and overbuilt that I can't think of a small knife that I've ever owned that I would trust to do some of the tasks that I have done or will do with this knife. I would trust this knife to do a lot more things than a lot of other knives because I'm not worried. One, I'm not worried about the knife breaking or failing. I'm not worried about the blade not working or chipping or cracking because it is robust. I know it's just it's kind of a misconception in my head that I look at that and I just think that it's more robust than some thinner knives. But the fact is steel, and even if it's ground really thin, you still have a lot of strength in that. The Bowler N690 on this is great. I love N690. I know a lot of people think that it's kind of a garbage, crappy steel. I personally don't. It takes a really crisp edge. This is about a 5,000 grit edge. Nice and crisp. I did do a full convex edge on it to account for a little blade stock thickness and behind the edge thickness. So it does cut really well. But just this was something that I picked up and fell in love with immediately at Chris and Elliot's shop. So I just kind of wanted to revisit it. Like I said, I had another video that was supposed to go up. I've had so many issues with it. I do not want to refilm an entire 15-minute video. So I just decided to do something else. I do love that upgraded pivot screw. When Elliot switched to these versus the originals, which were just a flat pivot screw, I was like, I want to change my screw. And he's like, just go put one in. So yeah, everything about this knife is great. The pocket clip, Elliot's bent clips are one of my favorite bent clips, like pocket clips, period. They're really comfortable. They're not intrusive. They don't hotspot. I got stuff on my hands. I got a new coffee pot in and I was making coffee with it. So yeah, guys, Ferrum Forge Ntac, great option. Too bad they're not available. I've told Elliot there needs to be a production version of this knife, maybe with some thinner blade stock. He's thought about it. Oh, one of the things I wanted to point out, this is one of those knives that has the cutout for the lock bar on the inside. Jared Neves mentioned something about it. I prefer that, but some people they just get it right every time. You see how beefy that knife is. That's a big, thick blade stock. So yeah, I mean, at the time, this was a perfect knife. Is it still perfect? I still love it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Does it have flaws? Yes, absolutely. But that doesn't detract from it. And 100% US made product. Everything was sourced from the United States. Everything was set up and milled either at SDPM here in San Diego, or I think Larkin did the blade grinds on these. So pretty much everything was here in San Diego, with the exception of the screws and the grind on the thing. So it's made in San Diego. So guys, that's it. I really do love this knife. I thought I would just revisit it and show it to you guys again, because not everybody's gotten to see it. I forget that not everybody has watched every one of my videos. So let's go ahead, turn this around and do some final thoughts. Oh, I forgot the price. So here's the thing. These were not cheap. These, I paid $5.15 for each of these. I have the receipt for each of them. The one that I bought for me and for my father, they're in a box. I have the actual receipts. These were $515 each. I actually paid shipping and handling on this one. I bought the other one that I bought for my father local from Andy over at Ntac. So yeah, they weren't cheap, but they're definitely worth it. And the fact is, lifetime warranty. I can take this to Elliot's shop and get him to repair anything that's wrong with this anytime I want. So, yep, now let's turn it around and do some final thoughts. So yeah, guys, I'm not blinded by the fact that Chris and Elliot are my friends. There are issues with this knife, but those are issues that even though, like Nick Shabazz will tell you, this knife is thick. It is a thick boy for a small blade. I still love it. I love it so much. It's a great knife. Everything about it to me is the reason that I started getting into Ferrum forged knives. And with it being the first one I ever owned, it was kind of special. So that's it on this one, guys. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs out. If you, thumbs up. Wait, hold on, Mike. Get your head together. Thumbs out. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. As a creator, I can still see the dislikes. You guys just can't. Lots of ways to support the channel. Just sometimes it's as simple as sharing a channel like I do. Lots of other ways though. If you want to support me financially, I have a membership tab down below. Get you in early access to videos, exclusive content. And if you're a premium member, a sharpening tutorial series that's all based on tier member. I have affiliate links down below that has a laundry list of things. You can go down and check it out. Even if you don't see something you like, if you click on any of those things, anything you purchase after and through my affiliate link, I still get credit for it. And it doesn't cost you anything, but Amazon pays me. And the final way is I do have a merch store. The merchandise store is on Ember Shirt Co. So I have a coupon code for both my merch store and Ember Shirt Co. that saves you 10% at checkout. It's CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, saves you 10%. Guys, I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. It's a lot easier to moderate when you do that. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.